Hi, I wanted to talk about something that's important. I'm going to show you a picture. See that picture there? That's a picture of my husband and I. I took that picture 4 years ago today. I was dying. I had no idea. I had sepsis raging through my body, and I had no concept that it was happening. So, here's the story. And I'm saying this because this is a serious thing, and it's something that people are unaware of. I didn't know a thing about it. I didn't have a reason to think that there was something wrong, other than the reason that I will explain. But anyway, sepsis is a major, major killer in the United States, around the world. It is an infection in your blood, and what happens is it goes in because your core is fighting so hard in order to stay alive, and your oxygen rate falls. You have so little oxygen in you that it draws all of the power into your organs, and it makes the hands and the feet, your limbs, cold. And what it's trying to do is it's trying to keep the power going to the organs, but you have such a low oxygen rate that it eventually just can't get enough oxygen into your organs, and you end up with multi-organ failure. It is a blood infection. It can come from all kinds of things. It can come from, you step on a rusty nail. It could come from a dog bite. It could come from just a regular nothing kind of wound that got away from you. You just don't know. Septicemia is extremely common. It mostly occurs in older people. It can occur in anybody, and the mortality rate is very, very high. At least 25% of people who end up with sepsis are dead off the bat. When you have sepsis, most of the time, I think it's 50 to 60% of the survivors have um, permanent lingering effects from it, and I know I do. If you come down with sepsis and you're not in the hospital, you have something like a 20% chance of survival. I am extremely lucky. This is not something that you screw around with. This is not something that you, well, maybe it'll get better, or I'm just going to blow it off, or something like that. This will kill you, and it will kill you fast. And if I had waited any longer than what I did, I would be dead. I went into septic shock, and I ended up on a ventilator. So here's the story. I was traveling around the country with my husband in a semi. He's a truck driver, and we had just gotten married a couple months before. Now, there's going to be a little TMI here, so brace yourself. So, when you're in a truck and you don't always get to pull over every time you want to pull over to pee. So, I had a jar that I peed in. I know it's disgusting, but this is the way that it is. And I didn't understand what was going on, because I was like, I don't pee like this. When you pee and you have healthy pee and you're properly hydrated and things are working the way that they're supposed to, your pee is supposed to be a very pale yellow or white. It is not supposed to be smelly. Mine was dark brown, and it was dark brown for a couple of weeks, and it's stinky. So there's the TMI part, and it didn't tip me off that there was something wrong. It should have, but it didn't. So it was a couple days before Christmas, and we were trying to get home, and we had a pretty good night the night before. Everything was fine. I took that picture. Um, we were newlyweds and we were greatly in love. So what happened, um, I woke up. ah, my back hurts. Back's hurting. Yeah. Back really hurts. Okay, I'm gonna go lay down again. So I went to go lay down, and I'm thinking that I'm gonna end up feeling better when I get up. I didn't feel better. Like, this is incredibly bad, and it was my left kidney. It was right back here. Where our kidneys are at. So it was right back here, and I was like, oh, I don't know what the heck is going on. I'm thinking, well, maybe it's a kidney stone or something like that. And I get a hold of my mom. My mom's a nurse, and she said, you need to go to the emergency room. And my husband's saying, we need to stop at an emergency room. And I said, no, 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 no. We're getting home for Christmas. Um, and this went on for a couple hours. So we were going through Ogden, Utah, which is about, I want to say about 8 hours away from where our home is at. So we're going through Ogden, and it was like, this is just incredible. I've had kids, and this was up there with labor. So it felt like a giant basketball with spikes was pulsing in my back. And I'd never felt anything like that before. And I'm thinking, I'm sure it's a kidney stone. So my husband's like, screw this. We're going to the emergency room. So we stopped at an ER in Utah. And hospitals don't have truck parking for semis. So we had to walk across the world to get to the ER through snow that was, like 85 feet deep. And it was an incredibly long walk. I remember getting into um, the ER. I remember being registered, and I'm stubborn, and they wanted me to sit in a wheelchair, and I was like, no, 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 I'm okay. I'll walk. Because I'm thinking, it's a kidney stone. They'll give me something for it and send us on our way. Yeah, whatever. I can handle pain. I just want to get home, and I have a ridiculously high pain tolerance. So I remember getting into a room, and I remember her telling the nurse that I would give her a urine sample when I was able to. That's it. I know nothing else. It was a couple days later that I woke up. My throat was raw. I did not know that I had been on a ventilator. I had tubes and wires and everything coming out all over the place. I'm hooked up to machines. There's machines are beeping all over the place. I've got an oxygen mask on. I mean, I had to have looked like something in one of those hospital drama shows or something, and my husband looks absolutely terrible. I don't know what day it is. I have no idea that it's days later. Well, I was right. It was a kidney stone. But it wasn't just a kidney stone. Somehow or another, I had developed one, and it went down the tube into my kidney. So the tube that goes from the kidney towards the bladder got blocked by this kidney stone because it was so big. And basically what happened was it wasn't able to drain. It wasn't able to process like it was supposed to. So my kidney exploded. Not literally, but the kidney became seriously infected. The infection in my kidney spilled over into my blood because of the stone. Spilled over into my blood, and my entire body was infected with sepsis. Sepsis. Who the hell thinks of sepsis? You think of the flu, you think of pneumonia, you think about COVID now. You think about the freaking Ebola virus or brain-eating amoebas or some dumb shit before you think about sepsis. It's real. and it is deadly. So apparently what had happened was I passed out and I went into multi-organ failure. Um, they, my blood pressure was next to nothing. My oxygen levels were next to nothing. Um, and I was just unconscious. I was gone. And I was about a leaf's width away from just dying. Um, I didn't know it. I didn't see any white lights or angels at the end of the tunnel or anything like that telling me to go home. There was nothing like that. Dying wasn't something that was apparent to me, but it was damn sure apparent to my husband. Um, they asked where we were going, how we were traveling, and whatnot. They said they said that I would have been dead in another 2 hours. There wouldn't have been medicine or antibiotics or anything of the sort that could have saved me or stopped it. I just straight up would have been dead. I never would have made it home. So, a septic shock, multi-organ failure. I had to be put on a ventilator in order to breathe. And when I woke up, I had had some kidney surgeries, and they placed a stent in my kidney. A stent is like this coiled thing, and they put it in the tube to allow drainage, and I was filled with like a nuclear fest of chemicals and antibiotics and everything else, trying to get this thing under control. So it was several days later before I was actually released from the hospital, and I mean, I was in incredible pain. I was very weak. Pain didn't stop. The level of pain dropped, but so I got home, and for the next month, it was touch and go. It was a month later, I got, because I had to do frequent blood tests and everything to see if the infection was leaving my system, and it wasn't. I was on, I think when I counted, I was on 15 pills in a day, this chemical shitstorm that I had to swallow every day. I had multiple kidney surgeries to try to get the stent cleared up, to get the stone broken up, to get everything fixed. My kidneys still are not right. I have one good functioning kidney now. The other one's tricky. But even several weeks after I was left at the hospital, according to my blood work, they said that this is still raging in my system, and I had a 50-50 a month after the fact that I'd even be able to live. That it just didn't go away. It just did not want to stop. Some of the signs of, I want to say COVID, it's not COVID, some of the signs of sepsis are mottled skin, an extreme fever, or being very cold. You can have your limbs cold to the touch. You can have rasping, elevated breath rates. You can have racing heart. You can be confused. You can be delirious. You can have incredible fear. You can have, some people have that feeling of doom, or the feeling that death is coming. There are a couple different symptoms, and I would recommend to anybody, please look it up, know what the symptoms are, and don't screw around with this, because it is something that will hit you fast and hard, and it'll take you out. It'll take you out fast. So this is 4 years after the fact, and I'm still not the same. I've been different ever since. It screwed up my system really, really bad. And I've had a lot of stuff that has gone down because of it, including losing my daughter. I honestly believe that what happened was I got pregnant, and we didn't know that I could, but I got pregnant a couple months after this happened, and I think that my system was still so out of whack, and I still had so many drugs in my system that it caused a miscarriage. So we lost our daughter over this. Um, it it's not a game, and it affects you fast. It affects you hard. It affects things that you wouldn't believe. It causes there's a lot of after effects that continue to rage on in the survivors. I'm not going to stop talking about this. I will post about it several times a year. I'll post about it um, on World Sepsis Day. Please be aware that this thing is out there. Please be aware that it can hit anyone at any time, and it is fatal. It's fatal to children. It's fatal to the elderly. It's really fatal to newborns. You know, I was in my mid late 30s when this happened, and I was strong. I was healthy. I had everything was fine with me. I had no reason to think that anything could have gone wrong. There was no wounding. I didn't have any wounds. There was nothing that could have indicated that this could have come on me. And it did. And my life is permanently changed from it. And I cannot imagine what it was like for my husband to sit there beside my bed, holding my hand and praying that I would be able to breathe on my own again, that I would wake up. I am very, very lucky. I have, there was an 80% chance, all told, that it would have killed me. I am very blessed that I'm one of the 20% that lived. Please know the signs. Please, please, please look it up. Just something quick, look it up and keep it in the back of your head, and just understand that you can be perfectly healthy. You can be perfectly fine. You don't have to have some kind of traumatic event happen in order for sepsis to develop in your body. It is not contagious. It's you don't have to be in a car wreck or be bitten by a rabid bat or, the neighbor's dog, or step on a rusty nail at a construction site. Mine was a simple kidney stone. And as a result, not to mention the untold multiplied tens of thousands of dollars that it took to keep me alive. And that's neither here nor there. But this thing is real. It is very real. It is very dangerous. It is very deadly. It will take you out. Almost guaranteed. Please look it up. Please be aware. Have at least some kind of, wait a minute, rolling around in the back of your head if anything ever seems funny. And don't wait. Your time is critical. It will kill you fast. It will kill you hard. And you don't have time to screw around with this. Please, please pay attention. Just in case, because you never know. And thank the divine, here I am. And I've had, I want to say 8 or 9 surgeries since, and a lot of them go right back to this. It screws things up mentally, physically, emotionally. It impacts your family. This stuff is real. So, anyway, signing off, little public service announcement. Merry Christmas. Because I nearly didn't have one, and I definitely didn't have a Merry Christmas that year. Just be aware, it's real. And take care of you.